If your planche looks like this instead of this, it's not because you're not strong enough, it's just because your technique is And today I'm going to show you 3 main mistakes that you should avoid if you want to have a clean planche. So let's go for it. And just a quick disclaimer before going into the mistakes, you need to understand that it doesn't matter on which progression you're right now, advanced tuck or full planche, they apply to every single progression, so make sure to always avoid them. Okay, so the first mistake is a bad protraction or no protraction at all. But first of all, what is even a protraction? So I'm sure that you have heard this all the times that you need to have a protraction in the planche if you want to have a clean form, but what is actually protraction? Well, I'm going to show you. Protraction means pulling your shoulders away from each other. So this is going to be retraction and this is protraction. When you pull your shoulders away from each other, basically when you put your shoulders like forward. So this is neutral position, this is protraction. And why do we actually need to do a protraction when we are doing the planche? Well, our goal when we are doing the planche is to be as high as possible from the ground, and the protraction is going to help us with that. Because the higher, like, imagine it like this, the more space you have between your chest and the floor, like the higher from the ground you are, the easier it is going to be to hold the planche for you. So I'm going to show you how a proper advanced tuck is going to look like with a good protraction and being high above the ground. You can see how I'm pushing my shoulders down to be high, and how a bad advanced tuck is going to look like. This is how most people do it. As you can see, it's way harder to hold it, the form is ugly, and like you're closer to the ground, and because of that it's very high to hold the planche. And the exercises that you can do to actually understand the protraction better are, first of all, you can do planche leans and going into retraction and protraction. This is going to help you to actually understand the movement and make sure to engage your muscles properly when you're doing the planche. And it's going to look like this. You go into the planche lean and you retract and protract. Retract, protract. And another thing that you can do is, once you do your main work, you know, from your workout, for example, you're working on the next progression, like let's say it's a straddle planche, and right now you can hold the advanced tuck for let's say 10 seconds. So once you do some attempts with the straddle, or maybe you're doing bended straddle, finish the workout with some advanced tuck holds, like not to fatigue yourself, but to actually feel the protraction, actually trying to push your shoulders forward and away from each other, and to engage everything properly. And this is also going to help you for the next progression, like the straddle planche. The second mistake is having relaxed back, so basically not engaging your lats. And yes, maybe some of you didn't know about this, but actually in the planche you're using your back too. You're not just using your shoulders to push, you're also using your back. So basically when you're doing the planche, you want to have, as we already discussed, protraction, so shoulders forward, but you also want to put your shoulders down. So this is called a shoulder depression. So forward, down. As you can see, I'm engaging my lats when I'm pulling my shoulders down. And this is going to help us to actually also keep the protraction on point, because you know, in the planche everything is connected. Like all of these cues, you need to do them at the same time. If, for example, you do a good protraction, but you don't do a shoulder depression and you're not engaging your back, your protraction is not going to be so good. So you need to do all of these things all at once. And why do we actually need to do the shoulder depression? Well, it's going to shorten our body. So imagine doing the planche like that or like that. You can see that I'm shortening my body, and it's actually going to be easier for you to hold the planche. So once again, I'm going to show you an example with advanced tuck. So this is going to be like a proper advanced tuck with good protraction and shoulder depression. And make sure to notice my lats, how I'm going to engage them in the advanced tuck. So depression, protraction, and this is a clean advanced tuck, right? And this is how a bad advanced tuck is going to look like. So I'm going to try to have a protraction, but I'm not going to engage my lats, and it's going to be way harder to hold it. So just notice how it's going to look like. It's way harder. So I'm trying to have the protraction, but I can't really feel the movement because my shoulders are elevated, like close to the ears, but they should be down. So forward and down. And the exercise that you can do for that to feel the movement is, yes, you guessed it, once again, planche lean. And from the planche lean, you're going to elevate your shoulders and then you're going to put them down. So it's going to look like this. You go into the planche lean, you elevate the shoulders and you put them down. Elevate the shoulders, engage your lats. And the last huge mistake is having an open core. And as I already told you, in the planche it's important to engage everything properly at the same time. So if you're going to miss one of these mistakes, it's not gonna work. You need to fix all of them. Like, you can't have a good protraction if you don't have shoulder depression and if you're not engaging your core properly, because everything is connected. So how the open core is actually going to look like. So when you do the planche, you want to be in a hollow body position, so like that. This is closed core because you're engaging the core inside. Open core is going to look from this position like that. So you open your core and basically you're breaking the form completely, because when you open the core, as you can see, you're automatically losing the protraction. I don't have protraction when I open my core, and it doesn't matter how strong you are, it is just impossible. So always when you're doing the planche, it doesn't matter on which progression you are, you need to squeeze the core inside. And what most people do, like this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see nowadays, is when people are going from the normal planche tuck, right? So just a normal tuck, when they're going to advance, they don't engage their core properly, and their advanced tuck looks like this basically. So as you can see, I'm opening my core, and because of that I'm losing the protraction and my form is shit. So you need to understand that you need to squeeze the core always inside, and from that position, when you squeeze the core inside, you put your hips down, but the core is always squeezed inside. So a lot of people are trying to, bend their lower back, and because of that, go to advanced tuck. But as you can see, I'm opening my core like that, and the whole form breaks. And the best tip that I can give you for this mistake and basically how to engage your core properly in the planche is literally just imagine that someone is going to punch you in the core. When someone is about to punch you in the core, you're never going to open your core like that. Imagine that someone is going to punch me and I'm going to be like, yeah, go for it. Of course, because it's going to hurt, right? So if someone is going to punch me in the core, I'm going to squeeze my core inside automatically, because this is going to reduce the pain. So the same goes in the planche. Imagine that someone is going to punch you in the core and you're activating all of the cues at the same time. And if you're training the planche for quite some time but you don't see the progress that you want, you're maybe stuck on one progression for too much time and you don't know how to progress further, is it because your technique is not correct, is it because you're not training properly, or for whatever reason, and you need some help to progress, you can apply for my one-on-one coaching. The link is going to be in the description. It's just a simple application, you can fill it out, I'm going to reach out to you and we're going to see how I can actually help you professionally achieve the goals that you have for yourself. But just to mention, this is only for the people that are actually serious about calisthenics and they are ready to put in the work, but they need the right guidance. And basically that was it for today's video. Make sure to avoid these mistakes, take action, expect redemption as always, and see you in the next one.